Welcome to day 25 of our school year. Let's go ahead and highlight day 25. And now let's get down our beginning fraction. Our denominator is 180 because that's the total amount of school days, and we are on day 25. So let's find the factors of our numerator, which is 25. Two factors we always know are 1 and the number itself. Using the commutative property of multiplication, I can do 25 times 1. Now I'm going to check for other factors using my divisibility rules in an orderly fashion. So after 1, I try 2, and then 3, and then 4. I want to make sure I go in order so I don't miss any possible factors. The rule for 2 is that it ends in an even number. 5 is odd, so 2 is not a factor. And if 2 is not a factor, no even number will be. So that cancels out all other even numbers as factors. So all I need to do is try the odd numbers. So after 1, the next odd number is 3. The rule for 3 is that we add the digits together. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is not multiple of 3, so 3 is not a factor. Next odd number is 5. The rule for 5 is that it ends in a 0 or 5. It ends in a 5. So 5 is a factor, 5 times 5. Whenever our factors are exactly the same, this is going to be a perfect square. This is a perfect square number. There are no counting numbers or natural numbers between 5 and 5, so we are done. Let's list our factors from least to greatest. 1, 5, 25. We have 3 factors. That's close to being exactly 2 factors, but it is actually more. Barely, but it is more than 2 factors, so it is composite. Now we need to figure out which of these is our greatest common factor. So let's try to see if 25 works for 180, and then if it doesn't, we'll try 5. So 25 worked up to here, to this line. This big thick line represents 100 days, and then the bottom part is 80 days. So 4 25s make 100. I have a remainder of 5. That means 25 does not work as a factor of 180, so it is not our greatest common factor. So that means we need to try 5. It does not matter what your groups of 5 look like, as long as you have 5 in each group, and you do not have shaded in with the unshaded. I'm using the fact that I know each row has groups of 10 in them. Cut each of those rows in half, and I have 5 and 5, because 2 5s make 10. All right, 5 worked, so that means 5 is our greatest common factor. Let's count up the total amount of groups of 5 we have. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. We have a total of 36 groups of 5, and we have 2, 4, 5 groups of 5 shaded in. Okay, now that we've done our division with our model, let's go ahead and do it with our algorithm. Remember, an algorithm is just a step-by-step way of solving a problem. Let's do 180 divided by 5, 25 divided by 5. So 5 makes me think of nickels, and I know that 20 nickels makes $1. 20 times 5 is 100 cents. Another way to look at it is this placeholder moves it over a place, and then 2 times 5 is 10. Numbers the same, zeros the game, more on top, no need to stop. Let's see, 10 times 5 is 50. You always want to make sure that the number you're subtracting is less than the number that we have up here that we're subtracting from, our minuend. Numbers the same, zeros the game, more on top, no need to stop. 6 times 5 is 30. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Add up these partial quotients. 0 plus 0 plus 6 is 6. 20 plus 10 is 30. Now here, 5 times 5 is 25. Numbers the same, zeros a game. And we get 5. We still need to check our answer. To check, we use our inverse operation. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Now on both of these, our remainder is 0. And the identity property of addition says when you add 0, it stays the same, so we don't need to worry about that. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 30 is 150, plus 30 more is 180. 5 times 5 is 25. So 25 matches my dividend here of 25. 180 matches my dividend of 180 here. So those check. And that means that 5 is our numerator and 36 is our denominator. Okay, now it's time to fill in our data collection page. Trimester 1, week 6. Today is 9, 12, and 19. And our fraction for today is 5/36. Let's go ahead and get out our number line. We did groups of 5. The last one we have down is 136. So now we need 236, 336. Okay, 236 was not the simplest form because that would be 1/18. But you also have 5/90. So we have 336. The simplest form is 1/12. But you also have 5/60. Then we have 436. Simplest form is 1/9. You also have 10/90. And then today is 5/36. We have only 25/180 as an equivalent fraction. Nothing else lines up. Alright, let's go ahead and put our number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.